Welcome into WCC All-Access. I'm Ezra Broder. Coming up, March Madness is here, and we have one of the best stories in all of college basketball. Plus, the first hardware has been given out. We recap BYU's dominance at the WCC Cross Country Championships. And she's the top-ranked tennis player in the country, but the rankings don't mean much to Pepperdine's Ashley Leahy. But first, soccer is Gideon George's first love. In fact, the native of Nigeria didn't even start playing basketball until about 7 years ago. So how did he end up playing college basketball over 7,000 miles away? Let's learn more about the BYU junior's journey to Provo.
George, beautiful footwork and finish.
I started basketball 6-7 years ago, back home in Nigeria. My hometown is Minna.
His story is amazing. We love that, he comes from really humble beginnings and he eats, sleeps, and drinks basketball.
The amazing story of how Gideon George became a college basketball player starts with a timeout. Rather, an organization called Time Out for Africa.
Growing up, I don't know if you all see some of the pictures, those kids who with the shoes they got and the new shoes. I was in that position too. I was wearing the worn-out shoes too. So it was Time Out for Africa that changed my life. They gave me shoes back home. Not only shoes, books to go to school. He really touched the lives of people back home.
George first laced up those shoes and picked up a basketball by chance while his brother was practicing in a gym. Then his brother told him about a basketball camp in Owerri that could provide him with a ticket to America.
I went out there to the camp. It's 13 hours bus drive. So I went there, I played at the camp, and I was among the top best player of the camp. So that's how the journey started.
Almost 7,000 miles away, New Mexico Junior College caught wind of George's talents.
They reached out to me and they were they want to offer me scholarship to come over here to America. So I was I was super excited. I know I'm going out of Nigeria to come school over here in America and further my education and play basketball too. So I was really excited for that.
3 years ago, Gideon George made the journey from Minna, a city of over 300,000 people, to Hobbs, New Mexico, just over 30,000.
I like Hobbs really good because I feel it's Nigeria because it's hot. Getting there, it's not cold like Provo here. So I really liked it because the weather.
First heard about Gideon George when Brandon Goebel, who runs the JUCO Advocate, he reached out to us when I was working under Coach Pope at Utah Valley about Gideon. And so went and saw him play there at New Mexico Junior College, went and saw him play at a couple showcases. He was something different than what we had coached. We felt that Gideon was the absolute perfect fit for what we were looking for, and we wanted to continue recruiting him here.
I would say it's the relationship I built with the coaching staff out here. Seeing the players, how they interact with the coaches and how the coaches interact with the players. I was yeah, because for me, it's bigger than basketball. I just want to go to where people will care about me, not as a basketball player, as a person. So that's why I picked BYU.
In his first season with the Cougars, George is making an immediate impact and has a knack for playing big in the biggest games.
He's very savvy. He's one of those guys that catches the ball on the perimeter, and when he rips and drives, the game slows down for him. I actually think, I call it the matrix. The game really slows down for him when he enters that matrix, when he drives, where everyone else is really sped up and he just kind of knifes his way to the basket.
I think I can really help the team a lot by defending the other team's best player and making plays for my teammates. They gave me this confidence, I would say this swagger on the court because they just tell me all the time to go do my thing all the time. So they believe in me, which I'm very happy for that.
As much as George has made his mark in Provo, his impact is even greater back in his hometown, half a world away.
When Gideon George arrived to New Mexico Junior College from Nigeria and he saw his teammate throwing away the shoes, that was the first thing he thought was, hey, let me take these shoes, let me send them back to my home country in Africa because my people need them. So he was thinking about other people, he wasn't thinking about himself. That selfless act and how he understands, because he grew up, right, not having shoes and It's something that we don't think about here as Americans because they're just old shoes and scruffed up shoes, but to people back in Nigeria, it's just helping them more in the ways than we understand. Gideon remembering that, remembering where he comes from and how he can help out people and the kids back there, it's just a testament to who he is.
What motivates me always is like seeing the smiles on the kids' face when they're getting like the pairs of shoes. It always breaks my heart, like seeing them so happy. I feel good too. I feel happy too, seeing them happy.
Time to take a break. When we come back, we go down the coast to see what's making headlines around the conference. And these trophies are staying in Provo. We look back at BYU's wins at the WCC Cross Country Championships when we return. This episode of WCC All-Access is brought to you in part by Nike, Just Do It, and University Credit Union, who invites WCC alumni and fans to bank with their brains and open an account today. We're back on WCC All-Access. I'm Ezra Broder. It's time to go down the coast and see what's making headlines around the conference. Plenty of awards and milestones to go through, especially in Spokane. 4 of the Zags starting 5 are finalists for awards for the best players at their respective positions. Point guard Jalen Suggs, shooting guard Joel Ayayi, small forward Corey Kispert, and power forward Drew Timme all are in contention for the honors given out by the Basketball Hall of Fame. Kispert and Gonzaga senior Jill Townsend are finalists for the Senior Class Award. It's given to 1 male and 1 female senior who excels both on and off the court. Kispert is the leading scorer on the top-ranked men's team in the country, while Townsend is the reigning WCC Player of the Year. One more Gonzaga nugget here. Mark Few is in a class of his own, literally. Gonzaga's bench boss has the highest win percentage in college basketball history. Over his 22 seasons as head coach, he's won over 83% of all games played. Another WCC coaching milestone, San Francisco baseball coach Nino Giarratano won his 600th career NCAA game. The longtime Don skipper earned it after beating second-ranked UCLA in the first series of the season. Coach G is the second WCC coach to reach 600 wins. Congrats! How do you follow up the best seasons in program history? Well, that was the challenge facing the BYU men's and women's cross-country teams. Last year, the men won their first national title, while the women were runners-up. This year's quest to repeat began in late February at the WCC Championships. Another year, another BYU sweep. The Cougars defended their men's and women's cross-country titles at the WCC Championships in Las Vegas. The second-ranked BYU women claimed the crown for the 3rd straight season, placing 4 of the top 7 runners.
I'm super proud of our women today. You know, I think running a WCC championship for 2020 in February of 2021 is anything but ordinary, and I'm really glad that they just showed up today. And the goal coming in was to get the team win. Today was actually not our best day as a team from the inside looking out. You know, sometimes the final score doesn't tell the whole story, but I actually like that going into NCAAs, which will be our next stop, that things weren't perfect today, and we can walk away from this a little bit humble and a lot hungry for the next one.
Portland's Anna Pataki crossed the finish line first, finishing the 6K race in 19 minutes and 56 seconds. The junior is the first pilot to place first since 2016.
It's like still unbelievable. I can't believe it. I was 11 like a year ago, and it's just, oh my gosh, unbelievable that I won this time.
Here are the team results. Familiar faces at the top as second-ranked BYU, number 25 Portland, and San Francisco finish 1, 2, 3. The top-ranked BYU men can call themselves WCC champions for the 6th straight season. The Cougars had 6 of the top 10 finishers, including Connor Mance, who defended his individual title in 39 fewer seconds. He's just the 5th man to win multiple WCC individual titles.
He's a grinder. He loves to run. He loves to push the pace. He loves to compete. And he loves to kind of celebrate his fitness. No one works harder and no one's more committed. And, you know, balancing that with his mechanical engineering degree is not an easy thing for a student athlete to do.
Running with such amazing talent in the WCC every year is makes it worth more and more, I think, each competition, just because each time we go against like people in WCC, it's great. We love our conference, we love our competitors. As competitors, I mean, I look forward to towing the line with a lot of these guys at nationals, but it's great to get to win a second time with, you know, all the sacrifice and hard work me and my teammates put in and my coaches put in as well.
Here are the men's team results. BYU on top, but how about Gonzaga claiming second place for the first time since 2004? The 8th-ranked Portland men finish in 3rd. You can find complete results on WCCSports.com. When we come back, what's trending on social media? We take a look at the best tweets and posts. And we get to know the top-ranked singles player in college tennis. Pepperdine's Ashley Leahy joins the show when we return. This episode comes to you courtesy of Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Visit HerculesTires.com. And Shamrock Office Solutions, delivering Ricoh digital copier and IT solutions to the Bay Area for over 19 years. Here are some of the best moments on social media. Former Gonzaga star Marco Gonzalez took to Twitter after his old boss made some eye-opening remarks. Former Seattle Mariners CEO Kevin Mather resigned after making disparaging comments about some of his players, including saying Gonzalez is very boring. Well, check out Marco's Twitter bio. Looks like he has a sense of humor. Golf season is in full swing, and so is Gavin Cohen's game. The LMU junior won back-to-back individual titles for just the 3rd time in program history. I would not want to face him right now. And a former Pepperdine star made history at the Australian Open. Mayar Sharif became the first Egyptian woman to win a main draw match at a Grand Slam event. Hats off to the former wave. Welcome back to WCC All-Access. I'm Ezra Broder. Ashley Leahy was the top-ranked player in college tennis last season when COVID cut the season short. But the senior had the option to return to Malibu for one last shot to finish what she started. Here's more with the Pepperdine ace. Pepperdine is one of the most accomplished women's tennis programs in the country. Last season, you became the first person in program history to be ranked #1 in the country. Describe to me what that felt like to reach that milestone.
It was pretty incredible, but what was so interesting about it was that it wasn't the result of like all this like blood, sweat, tears, the way you would think of it. It was almost like that was my freshman, sophomore, junior year, was me constantly thinking like, how many hours am I spending on court? Like thinking about the rankings, wanting to be really good, wanting respect from other people, wanting to like prove myself. That summer, I took like 2 months off. I went to Kenya and taught science to some kids who were orphans and like in the slums of Kamulu. It was just a really, really amazing experience, and to like be in a completely different world and realize that there's more to life than just the sport that I play and what my ranking is and how good I am and whether or not people think I'm good. I came back with like a very new perspective, very fresh perspective. When I started loving the daily process of like hitting each shot and not of like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm working hard so that I can be #1. That's when I became #1.
Last season was cut short, and at that point, I'm guessing you probably thought that your college career was over. So yeah. What made you come back for one more season when you could have just gone pro?
Well, I think it was a combination of a bunch of different things. It would have been, where I was, it would have been really nice to go pro because, I mean, I was finishing, like, I was going to be one of the top players in the country. I probably could have gotten hooked up with some good sponsorships, maybe a couple wild cards into some pro tournaments. But when everything started getting canceled, I was like, okay, I don't really know what's going on anymore. And who knows how long this is going to last. But I know that Pepperdine is the best place for me to train. I have 3 coaches with our volunteer assistant that I absolutely love, a fitness trainer that I absolutely love, a team that I am best friends with, and I'm living in Malibu. And I love the school. Like, I love taking classes. If I can get one more semester here, why not, you know? So it was just a combination of like, wow, this is a really great option. And the other one, like, we don't know what's going on, so might as well get another 4 good months. Like, who knows what level I can get to with 4 more months here.
Well, so you come back, you're still ranked #1 in the country. Depending on how many matches you play, you might become the winningest player in school history. You're the only wave to reach the finals of the NCAA singles tournament. Is there sort of one stat that you're most proud of in your career?
I honestly, I don't want to like be super negative about it, but as soon as I get into like the mindset of stats and wins and losses and all that, I lose my freedom of playing, and it just doesn't, it's no longer fun. The thing that I want to walk away with is not like any specific statistic, but I want every single person on my team and my coaches to be like, wow, she was the best teammate she could have possibly been. Like, she made every single day so much fun, and just like got every single player better, got the coaches better, like made life enjoyable. So for me, that's the most important. And I know that sounds like super cheesy, but that's just how I feel.
One more block to go. Coming up, we look ahead at some key dates on the horizon. And he's the first Latino head coach in NBA history. San Diego alum and Charlotte Hornets head coach James Borrego joins the show up next. You're watching this episode thanks to our sponsors, Heffernan Insurance, because you're different, and Don Francisco's Coffee, premium quality, great tasting, family crafted coffee since 1870, backed by 150 years of coffee roasting expertise for a perfect cup every time. Here's what to watch for in the coming weeks. March Madness is here. On March 15th, the BYU men will try to defend their title at the NCAA Cross Country Championships in Stillwater, Oklahoma. The Cougars enter as the top-ranked squad in the country. The BYU women are ranked second in the country. And another WCC squad ranked #1 in the country, Gonzaga Men's Hoops, looks for its first national title starting on March 19th. The NCAA tournament is scheduled to take place in the greater Indianapolis area through April 5th. The Zags likely enter as a favorite, if not the favorite, to win it all. We're back on WCC All-Access. I'm Ezra Broder. He started his career as a walk-on at USD, and almost 25 years later, James Borrego is the first Latino head coach in NBA history. We talked with the former Torero about that and more. You're a member of the USD Mafia. First of all, can you just explain what that is and how so many former Toreros have become NBA head coaches?
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see so many coaches and executives in the league. You know, when I went to USD, I knew nothing about the Mafia, and obviously when I left, I got ingrained and never looked back. But we always say we can't play in the NBA, but we can coach and we can lead teams. So it is a Mafia. It started long ago with, you know, Bernie Bickerstaff and Hank Egan, and Mike Brown, David Fisdale, Chris Grant, and others have taken, you know, advantage of a wonderful opportunity. But when I first went there, I knew nothing about that. You know, I had no aspirations to be a part of the NBA, and but once I was there, I got hooked, and I was very fortunate to be a part of that Mafia and still be there.
What does it mean to you to be the first full-time Latino head coach in the NBA?
Well, I'm proud of it. Obviously, you know, it's a special deal for me, my family, and the people that, you know, helped me get to this point. More than anything, though, it's about the young people. I just want it to be an example for young men and women, no matter where you come from, your ethnicity, your background, your skin color. You can do anything, you can accomplish anything. Now, you need some breaks to go along the way. I was very fortunate. I got my breaks at USD. To get to the NBA. I was very fortunate. Sometimes it's just being at the right place at the right time, but you also got to put in the work, you know, and I think those were some principles that I learned early on. There's a lot of doubters. There's people that said no to me many times along the way. I had a lot of universities and coaches that I tried to get hired by say no, you know, and it just fueled my fire to keep going. So that's my message for young people. Don't let anything hold you back. You keep pursuing your dreams, and you never know what's possible.
As an assistant with the Spurs, you worked under Greg Popovich, who's considered one of, if not the greatest NBA head coach of all time. Now at the Hornets, your boss is Michael Jordan, obviously considered, again, one of the, if not the greatest player of all time. Have you ever had to sort of pinch yourself and say, my gosh, these are you know, legends in this game?
I do it about once a year. About once a year I step back, and I'm very fortunate. Obviously, as I said earlier, you know, things went my way. They fell my direction. And then I had to make the most of those opportunities. You know, I had to work my tail off to keep growing, keep developing, and put myself in a position to be where I'm at today. But you don't get there alone. There's people that help you along the way and push you to be better, and you learn from them, you grow with them. And, you know, Pop's one of those mentors and friends and coaches that really pushed me to be better, and I wouldn't be here today without him. And then now to work, you know, under Michael Jordan is extremely special. You know, to have him choose me to lead his ball club is a tremendous honor, and with that comes great responsibility. And I own that responsibility, and I thrive in that responsibility. I love it. I love the challenge. More than anything right now, I see him as my partner, someone that I'm growing with, and we're trying to get this thing right, and we're moving in the right direction. You know, we're a ways from where we want to be, but we're pulling in the same direction, united in our vision, in our pursuit of excellence for our program. So once a year, a couple times a year, I sit back and think about how fortunate and blessed I am to be here today.
That'll do it. Thank you for watching WCC All Access. We leave you now with some of the best plays from the last few weeks of action. See you next time.
Cross midcourt. Shaylee Gonzalez from 30 feet. Got it! To beat the third quarter buzzer!
For the win. It is in the net, and the Gales have won it.
Andrews going up against a freshman right now. In the paint, the sidestep, the hook shot, it falls! 0.9 seconds left! A huge shot again by Andrews.
Williams, guarded by Ross. Williams. Oh, what a big bucket! What a huge in the face of Kobe Ross by Jordan Williams. Oh, baby!
Well, that pass stolen by Cook. That was easy. And this time with the left.
This episode was brought to you in part by Reveal Suits, the official business apparel partner of the West Coast Conference. It's what's inside. Visit revealsuits.com. And Signature Championship Rings. Your success set in stone.